Welcome back. It's a brand new season of CGL.
This is just an absolute treat. These players are so damn good.
The talent on these teams is undeniable. Everybody on every team right now is making plays.
It's going to be an exciting start to the season, and it'll just get better from here on out.
We're about to step to a whole new era of Overwatch esports. So much exciting action is happening here on CGL that you do not want to miss.
Look who's starting it all off. It's Raven. No one necessarily figure out what is the right way to go just yet.
What a nice roll through from Peyton. It's just going to solidify everything from Mythos.
Does come back, and Arsario gets the mech, but I don't need a mech. I'll kill Thor anyway.
This is just a highlight reel for Arsario right now.
They're making a statement in the EU Masters here.
This patch is still incredibly fresh. There's so much to learn, so much to change about the way we play the game.
SKC, but the shatter is colossal.
Let's get it going.
Trades keep coming through. Lores, you're going to be able to find these shots true.
Idu on the overclock with 2.
Here comes the Nanoblade immediately into the back. Fine skills, slicing and dicing their way through 2-3. So back and forth.
Overwatch is on the verge of a new era. Big changes right around the corner that are going to change the way that we play this game for at least the next year. But alas, the show here must go on because we're still discussing the future of CGL here in the EU Open Tier. My name is Gio, joined by Nyah, and we'll be covering Eclissi versus the Flock.
Yeah, and two good teams here that want to prove a good fight for each other and determine a great victory. But yeah, that spotlight was pretty exciting. I know that I sat up in my chair watching it. Hero perks, that's going to be a game changer for everyone. So definitely excited to see that one.
Man, Hero Perks is going to change the game. Weirdly enough, my largest reaction was for loot boxes. I'd like a doctor to diagnose the reason for that one. But we are diagnosing you with not one, but 2 CGL matches today. Of course, right now we're going to be covering the EU scene, but later today we will have some NA. So obviously right now it's 20 GMT, but at 20 Eastern is when Death Blossoms versus Tormenting Tentacles is going to be playing. What a name of a team that is. But with these teams, obviously, they've just seen the spotlight. These players, know that these changes are around the corner, but they need to, get their heads together. Remember, we're not there yet. We're still playing this version of Overwatch.
Yeah, and as you said, they're going to be sticking to this current version, and they're going to be locking in what the current meta is. And I believe, if I could still recall, it's more of the Sim Torb, if I could think right. Is it Sim Torb?
Yeah, I looked away for one day and I looked back to Overwatch. People were playing Simtorb, and I'm sitting there thinking, did I miss the bulletin? Where was this memo? Did we all decide this as a community? But it kind of makes sense, right? There's some reasoning behind the madness, and with the fact there's hero bans, it's like, are you really going to use a hero ban for Torbjorn, for Symmetra? So it kind of changes things, right? And it's going to make you evolve your strategy.
Yeah, definitely, especially. And, talking about hero bans, both of the teams have them up in the scene here of CGL, but as well, that map pool too to look forward. We have our starting map, which that's going to be Oasis of this week. And that's always exciting to see on what compositions teams could bring.
Yeah, Oasis is going to start us out here. Obviously, we'll get some bans in as well. And Oasis Control, always a really good map type to start out to try and fill these two teams up. Eclissi have a match loss. I looked into it. It might have been a bye. I'm not sure. There's not too many details on it, but the Flock have a win. So they're kind of opposite in the standings right now. So if Eclissi want to try and clean that up, they're probably going to obviously want to be as clean as they can here, try and get a free O, kind of bring themselves back up the standing, whereas the Flock, of course, want to keep the height that they've flown up to.
Yeah, and maybe like how you said, Eclissi could be coming up into this one as the underdogs against the Flock, where the Flock had more, playtime going up into their other match where they debuted a win for that first. But yeah, this is gonna be pretty interesting to see. Both teams coming out in different standards with records, but here we go. We're gonna be taking a look at the bans, and with the
Ooh.
Torb and Sim up in the meta, I still feel like Sojourn and Tracer will kind of get more played, but as well, if you're the Flock here, probably ban a good pick like a support or a tank here.
I'm so interested. This is my first CGL match that I've sat down and casted this season, so this is the first time I'm
That's
actually
exciting.
getting this in front of me in real time instead of watching it on Twitch. And you know, it kind of racks the mind. Obviously, Hazard was a strong tank. Do you ban
Yeah.
Hazard out the gate? Obviously, that means you can't ban Hazard later. So, how much of these teams actually like worked each other out in terms of like what they individually play rather than the meta?
Yeah, I know that some teams actually save bans for later maps to like counter ban up on the other team, but it's going to be interesting. And there it
Yeah.
is. The Hazard pick is going to be first. And was this a smart decision? Maybe it was, but this could be punished on later in the series.
As a Scottish man, I'll not take it to heart. I understand character's quite strong at the moment, so fair enough. I won't take it as a personal attack. I think that's kind of like an expected kind of run of the mill choice there. I don't think Eclissi are going to be too
Yeah.
shocked at that one. It just depends what we go for now. Oasis, primarily, I'd say dive probably leans stronger dive spam rather than kind of brawl. You've got the university map where you can brawl and kind of gardens, but it kind of depends on what the playstyle they're going to choose for is.
Yeah, and I'm kind of excited. Are they gonna ban a DPS or like a support hero? I would like to see Sojourn up in the play here because playing around the corners are always nice, likely towards the other team. But I wouldn't be surprised if a support were to get banned here. You get to see Lucio and Kiri played up into that. So would it be Lucio Kiri here? 5 seconds to basically tell us here.
Oh man, it's intense. And they have chosen
Oh, Tracer.
Tracer. Okay, right. So that's actually going to be very impactful on Oasis City Center because obviously Tracers can get a lot of angles on that one. So it's a good choice for them to make. And let's have a kind of an introduction quickly to our teams, by the way. So Eclissi, they're going to come in with their roster. It's going to be Nevs there on the tank, the DPS lineup of Vista and Flatic, and we've got Little Plume and Nemo Fried on the support lineup there. None of their hero icons, which are moving, by the way. Hello, this is like Harry Potter. I love this. None of them indicate that they've had a hero of theirs banned. So, just based off that, maybe they're looking okay.
Yeah, and it's gonna be exciting, but let's take a look at the next roster, which is gonna be the Flock. They're coming up into this one with a good, strong momentum, but looking at the DPS, we got the Sky Demon, we got Indra, we got up on our tank, Cosmin Lung, and then up on our supports, Seb and Obix, which that's gonna be pretty interesting, I would say here, Gio. Both of the teams still, as I said, they're coming up in Flocks with a win. Eclissi still just trying to find theirs, but can Eclissi upset the Flock here in our CGL debut?
Exactly. A little bit of a vortex to bring the bird down, or will they avoid getting brought out of the sky? Again, both these teams are in kind of separate positions. Obviously, only 1 week has passed so far this season of CGL. We're very much at the start, and based off of what we might be getting in the future of CGL and Overwatch, this is only the very beginning. We've not even like launched yet, right? We're counting down to
Yeah.
launch. That's how early we are and what this season's going to be looking forward. So you want to use what you know now before it gets chaotic and get a nice win in week 2 before things change in season 15 of Overwatch.
Yeah, it's gonna be so great for everyone here up in our Overwatch community here up in CGO. But you know, the next season is going to be very, very different. You're going to see different meta changes, but let's stick to this meta right now. It's been interesting. We know what it is, but it's going to be hyper focused. Probably a lot more dive seen here throughout this series and brawl like too. But yeah, it's going to be a great thing to see. And it seems to be that both of the teams are running out with a rush type composition coming up on the side of Eclissi, and the Flock running a Diva comp, which I gotta agree, this is not bad for both of the teams.
Yeah, good choices on both sides, different choices. That Farah is going to be fairly free, just needs to kind of keep their eye out for when Flatix is going to have their railgun. And of course, Little Bloom could shoot them out the sky.
Yeah, and here we go. The Flock are looking pretty good, but we're looking at Eclissi here. Nev's just trying to work up on the outskirts, now making ways towards point here. If I were Cosmin here for the Flock, I would probably forward aggress this backline.
And you can see them taking position here on the point of the Venture of Fista kind of going around behind. That's what they want to be doing there. Just trying to like catch someone out with that drill. Bit deep in there from Cosmonung, gets a lot of damage done, forces resources out of their supports, but Eclissi again have control of the point now. They don't necessarily need to take too many risks, despite that Fista did go in, and again, very aggressive dives from Cosmonung. Not fully committing, because they know that they can't. If they did, they'd be in a lot of danger, especially with the shotgun there of Nevs, but that percentage is ticking up in the Flock. They need to start making decisions. They're coming up to their orbital ray. Maybe that's the game plan. Just heal them up, get the ray, and win the fight. Farah is causing them some issue again. They don't have a lot to deal with it. As soon as I said, there's a railgun, and that'll clip your wings. And with that, I imagine they're just going to back up here.
Yeah, and this is a good pick for Eclissi to just keep on running with them, you know, legs for themselves. But you look at what Neofried just did to Indra. Neofried more up in the kill feed. This is great from the Lucio player.
Yeah, they're in a great position, and they're coming up to both beams now on both sides.
Yeah, a lot of ultimates coming out. The Flock with Orbital Ray, Rally ready to go, Barrage charging up. That's going to be 3 ultimates for the Flock to kind of re-engage themselves. But if you're looking at Eclissi, they're going to have some pretty great ultimates as well. But, oh, Cosminung, able to get one up on the Nyah.
Yeah, and that speed's gone, right? Nevs now needs to use their shout a lot more careful. They have been able to get Indra, try and equalize things with that rally up, though. The amount of sustain that's there is going to be difficult, especially when you don't have your Lucio. But Neofried going to be coming back onto the point very soon with the beat. But still, they've been unable to capitalize because the Diva just can't go as aggressive as this Junker Queen can.
Yeah, very true. JQ likes to go quick up in these compositions, and Nevs is working with it fantastically with the speeds from Neofried. But Beat was popped there. JQ ultimate was also popped, but other 2 ultimates were popped, and this was just great to get this objective secured here for the Eclissi.
And it kind of plays into their game plan, right? They knew what they wanted to do. They wanted to play Junker Queen on City Center. So banning the Tracer there means that they've got a lot less to deal with in that backline. So, you know, you don't have to have Fista playing kind of like keepy up with a Tracer. They can kind of play aggressively, right?
Yeah, and, you know, there's no Tracer, so no one to flank around to look at those backline supports, which makes it more interesting. I love the Venture pick here from Vista. I feel like it brings the aggression pace towards that backline and forces the backline to back up just a tad bit more. But yeah, I feel like Eclissi's doing a great job. We just got to see out of that point sector 1, and it was just dominant performance from them. But let's see what leads their momentum here up in this point sector 2.
Dominated point 1, dominating now the high ground. Fista again is just kind of burrowing in there. I call it the uppies, trying to get them into the sky there to have a follow-up, and Seb's going to have to play very careful here. They're going to be in a lot of threat, especially if that immortality is forced. So you're going to see Seb being very careful of where they position. It's actually Dabrix who goes down first as Flatix finds the railgun again. And that high ground position that they started from gave them a lot to work with.
Yeah, great job from Flatix here up on the side of Eclissi, but you're looking at the Flock, which are kind of struggling at this moment. You're having Eclissi once again cap this forward momentum, and if you're looking at what they did up on that point sector 1, it could get a little scary for the Flock. They need to bring some forwarding back for themselves, but with the swap up onto Cassier, this might just get something for the Flock.
Exactly, especially trying to catch out an aggressive venture. It's actually Nevs that gets caught out there because Fista's going to have to play much more careful with that nade, like you mentioned, and without their tank, I mean, it's pretty much all but over. You see them kind of backing up, giving the space, see if they can maybe find something in that element, but with Neophyte down, they just need to fully back up. Nevs is on Wrecking Ball?
Yeah, Wrecking Ball, this is actually an interesting pick, but it's going to be back up onto the JQ. But yeah, I like what Indra was cooking there, Gio. I mean, this was fantastic scenes from the Flock, but you're now looking at Eclissi, which Nevs was dominant up on the JQ, which is Eclissi gonna come back up on this one with an ultimate? They do have this Sojourn ready to go.
There's the Amp Matrix to start it up, giving them the space to work with, but they don't use it. They didn't step on the point. It's over. Sky Demons lost their head, literally. Indra has kind of made up for it by taking a little plume. You give yourself a lot to work with, and with Vista gone, you're a little bit safer. But there's Seb again, just feeling the pain of being so targetable against this composition, and it's a bit of a stalemate at the moment, but again, Eclissi have the point.
Yeah, and great engage here, but the Lucio's able to get the melee, so that's a little unfortunate for Flatix here up on the side of Eclissi, but the forward momentum and pressure from this side of the Flock, they want to just try and get some forward momentum pressure for themselves here.
Yeah, there might be room for 2 queens, but not for 3. The Orbital Ray tries to settle that dispute, however. Both beats out. Well, sorry, just Dabrix beat out. Actually, Neophyte still has theirs. If they need to sustain, this is final fight. If they're able to finish this off, they'll get this point 2-1. Little Plume finding Dabrix again means consuming. Not going to have the speed. Taken out there. And yeah, Eclissi cleaning up. That was very clean from them. They showed a lot of patience.
Yeah, patience for sure, and they capitalized up on those moments when it was needed for Eclissi, and yeah, just wonderful positioning around corners from this Eclissi team. They really followed up on their ultimates too, communicated pretty well. But if you're the Flock here, this is not such a good look for you up on Oasis, but you could always come back, you could counterban the other team, so that's always going to be interesting to see forward up into this one. But you look at what Indra did, this is a player that stands out from the Flock.
Definitely, and they can use that, right? Now they've got a little bit more information. Oh, Fista likes to play Venture. If only there was a way they could deal with that for a map, right? Now they have an idea of what they could do in a future map. Looks like Eclissi does kind of prefer to go for this kind of round and tackle kind of brawl rush composition. Obviously, Nev's a very strong Junker Queen player, so again, this is intel for the Flock later down the line. Do they want to aim for more dive maps? Do they want to aim for more brawl-centric bans to try and bring things back into their control?
Yeah, and it's going to be something to watch for. You want Flock to run a current map that fixes towards their meta type composition that they want to run. But yeah, the Flock are gonna just have to try and battle up this hill here against the Eclissi, which, as I said, they proved a pretty dominant victory there up on Oasis with that 4-2-0. But yeah, it's gonna be something to watch for. Will the Flock come back with Indra? We got to see that throughout first map. Indra was hitting some nasty shots, Gio, and I wouldn't be surprised going up into this next one if Eclissi bans a pick that Indra chose out of that Oasis. That could get a little more unfortunate for the side of the Flock.
Yeah, definitely, but it begs the question, you know, Indra obviously playing those hit scan characters, were they the Tracer player? Would have Indra been playing Tracer on City Center, and would that have been a very different story? Because you're right, they're a very strong player, and having a strong Tracer opens things up against a team like that was being played with the Junker Queen kind of brawl kind of situation. So I could see that if that's now free, then maybe we see some Indra Tracer later down the line.
Yeah, and guys, it's going to be a fantastic one. Obviously, Eclissi is running off with this one for this first map, but the next one coming up, this is going to be even more exciting. Eichenwald's going to be the next pick, and if you're the Flock here, you could probably run some poke variant up on defense, even more dive compositions that could come out up on attack phases. So this one's definitely going to be a watch for both of the teams here, but can the Flock get a win here to tie up the match score line? It's going to be something that we are going to be waiting for an answer.
Yeah, and with Eichenwald, you've got like a whole set of different situations, right? And you can't ban Hazard, you can't ban Tracer. I would say Tracer wouldn't really have been too much of a factor on Eichenwald, especially when
Yeah.
you're thinking, you might see more of a poke, you might see more just continuation of kind of brawl-based compositions. If you're a Flock,
Mhm.
do you want to just get momentum back on your side immediately and ban Junker Queen? It's like that idea's right there.
Yeah.
And then you kind of know they're probably going to play Reinhardt or Ramatra. It's like you kind of put them in that box.
Yeah, and I mean, if, as you said, if they do ban the JQ pick, do see Reinhardt getting chosen, same as Ramatra. If the team were to run Ram, they could work with the slows, maybe even bring a Mei out, but we could also see a Sim Torb come out for this map pick, but they're going to be banning the Sojourn here, which this is actually not too bad of a choice. We get to see Sojourn take off angles up on this map pretty occasionally, and yeah, this is not that bad for the Flock here.
Yeah, and that's also the Flock kind of giving a compliment there to Flutix. So they were like, "Oh, by the way, we didn't like playing against you when you were on Sojourn, so you're not allowed to play if
Yeah.
that tool is out of your arsenal. We don't want to see that again." So, personal compliment sent to Flutix from the Flock. I am kind of shocked, I'll admit, out of all of the heroes that I could have seen them banning. I don't know how effective the Sojourn one is. You can very easily swap that out for something like an Ash or a Cass. It's
Yeah.
not as unmalleable.
Yeah, and it's gonna be something to watch for. You could probably see more brawl type variant come out of this, but as well, dive could also be played. I wouldn't be surprised if we were get to see a flyer up into a hit scan, but you probably don't want to run that, right? So I do expect Ash to get played without that Sojourn. But if I were to say anything about the Eclissi here, probably ban a tank. This wouldn't be a bad choice, but let's see. Is it going to be a tank here? Or am I going to be wrong? Okay. So the
Wrecking
Wrecking
Ball.
Ball.
Okay.
Interesting.
So again, more of the same kind of narrative from Eclissi, banning a character that's very strong on off angles and able to basically be a nuisance, especially when you're in a kind of a fist, like a tight fist kind of composition. So again, I think that tells the same story. Eclissi probably going to remain on the kind of rush comps we saw. That is my prediction
Yeah.
based off of that.
Yeah, I did like the JQ variant. I feel like they brought a lot of attention for the Flock to just try and get something out of them here to force probably potential for the Flock. But Eclissi, just fantastic scenes out of that map one. And here we go. It is 1-0. And shortly here, we're going to be launching up into Eichenwald. It's going to be precise on where both of these teams position, but it's going to be even more harder for the Flock because they're underneath that score there. So they definitely need to tie up this one to have some winning momentum for that next map.
Yeah, momentum's a big thing, right? Because the previous map, it was 2 sub maps in a row. It wasn't as clean, but it definitely wasn't a 99% to 100 affair. It was fairly on the side of Eclissi, and it's worth mentioning. A little bit of change up there, the substitution of Kai coming in. Kai is this team's starter. Dabrix was a substitute, so now they've got their main player in. That'll be another momentum changer, right? If you've got this many players, which by the way on the sheet they've got quite a few players. They've got 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 players, right? They've got a lot to play with. So when it comes to like hero bans, that gives them a lot more to play with. Maybe Kai is more of their Brigitte player than their Lucio player. So now they know they can't play Wrecking Ball. They want to have a bit more of a controlled back.
Yeah, and the Flocks are just by looks of it, they're saving the links for the stronger moments for themselves here to kind of fight their way back up into it. And Yeah, I feel like Kai, as you know, coming in, I feel like this is a great decision from the flock. But let's see if it is a dive comp facing a hazard composition. It's gonna be interesting.
Yes. Oh, well, Fista didn't find that interesting. Found himself pummeled into the ground. You can't dig your way out of that grave, I'm afraid. Cosmonong already just aiming to keep this momentum up that they've gained for themselves. If they could just, like, sweep another player, great wall placement from Nevs, just keeps the team alive. There's going to give Fista enough time to come back. There's definitely a retouch here. It's not over yet. Fista already back, looking for the uppies. Right into the backline, so aggressive, and it's not working out. That brick pick from Kai is such a good choice.
Yeah, and I love the pick here from Kai to, you know, forward more pressure up onto this team. But the more to focus up on here is coming on. It's just fantastic from them. Cosmin has just been pretty good for the flock, I would probably say. And it's going to be a little bit to worry about if you're Eclissi, because you have Flatix playing the Ash pick, but you also have a face-up against a fast backline. So is Cosmin going to launch themselves to Force?
Well, I know what's being launched, and that's bullets, pellets being sent out of the Viper of Ash's rifle. And you can see Indra's on the Tracer, right? We talked about that. Tracer got banned last Oasis. Indra is running the show. Might not be getting like the flashy eliminations that we saw coming out from Indra, but definitely seeing a lot of movement.
Yeah, and this guy even almost charging up a Bob here. Both of the Ashes kind of close, but with the pickup on the Cosmin, this is kind of looking good for Eclissi now.
Yeah, you start taking out the tank, and that's it. That's wraps. I mean, the show's over. Go back to rehearsal, and finally, Eclissi get a little bit of control and stop the wave of the fog.
Yeah, Neofrag just doing what a Lucio player could do. And Neofrag does have this beat matrix to sustain an ultimate as well, so I wouldn't be surprised if Neo was to use that beat against the Bob or even the Primal. But you're looking at the flock, which need to kind of re-engage here, but they have a lot of time, and I probably wouldn't even worry.
Yeah, and they've got so many tools to work with. The rally, and again, Indra opening up, get flattened. Sky Demon, though, does get drilled, equalizes there, and this is the rally being invested. Now, of course, you get the Venture ultimates. You'd think I'd know the name of it. I play lots of Venture. And the Nano. That's a late Nano. And a Primal. They still think they can win this fight. They're trying very difficult. But that's not an easy character to isolate with Primal. Cosmonong, I appreciate the attempt, but that's heavy investment with not much won.
Yeah, and 3 ultimates, like how we just kind of quoted there from the flock. They're going to have to try and come back up into this one with their 2 DPS, which DPS ultimates at this game of point are pretty strong, and hopefully that pulse bomb can land or stick on to somebody, but Cosmin able to get a launch pick up on the Flatix.
Flatix needs to be careful where they are. Cosmonong just got them with that jump. Not even got the perk to do more damage, and yeah, all just falls out from there. You don't have your tank, you don't have you don't have the DPS, you don't have the pressure. Hello, Fista. Does seem to be doing quite the work without that. Never mind. Cosmonong also goes down. Bit of a messy fight, but again, Eclissi starting on a bit of a disadvantage, but still winning out.
Yeah, it's actually kind of impressive what this Eclissi team's actually doing. They're holding the space against this flock team and basically saying that no, you cannot take this space, and we're just going to control it. But you're looking at the flock, which could still come back. No. But Indra, in the pulse?
What a yeet! I appreciate the, again, like, I know you're good, but I'm definitely not going to land a pulse bomb like that. Cosmonong trying to create some space again, pushing up. Poor Flattened. Actually getting bullied out of the start of these fights, but for some reason, these 4v5s are still going the way of Eclissi. Engaged there on top. And
Cosmin able to get a pick. That's not too bad.
Bob comes out, so right into the downpour. I know this well as a Scotsman. And Bob does do quite good work in terms of creating the space. And again, just sneaking up there on that off angle. Very much needed sleep there, but that's still a lot of sustain that Nevs has. Whiff to be able to block. But finally, the Flock have won this out. They need to take control of this high ground.
Yeah, and the Flock do have these ultimates too to look at for their auto economy. Two at the moment that are current, but two others that are coming up. The support ultimates are pretty strong up in the game so far from both of the teams, but it's going to favor who aggresses this a little more, and the Nano is out. Same with the Rally and Primal.
That Primal's definitely aggressive, and it's working in their favor. It's giving them lots of space to move with, and does go down for, but is the space already made? The DPS are cleaning up. Indra and Sky Demon are doing so much work. They've been unleashed here on Icon Vault. They're going medieval on them.
Yeah, and I feel like the Flock are just doing a fantastic job. You see how they're controlling this space now against the Eclissi, but if you're Fista, you're bringing this pressure towards the Flock team and just kind of backing them up as what it seems.
Yeah, with the Torb now there as a defensive choice, much harder to dive that character. Much harder to take them out because of the over health as well on cooldown. 10 seconds remaining. It's all down to this one. They don't really have ultimates to play with here, so they do need to make their choice known. Cosmodome does have to just dive in, but into the waiting arms of Molten Iron flung into them, and Neofried who finishes it up. And yeah, they've just struggled to find themselves on the second point, despite having to dive characters. They just haven't found the dives themselves.
Oh, and I think we get to see a late pick of Ball there. Unfortunately, Ball is that's a little interesting.
That's illegal. That's against the law. You can't do that.
The thing that was kind of interesting going forward is you look at the aggression pace from Eclissi here. It was great played up into the Flock, which the Flock were just trying to work with their ultimates as much as possible. But Gio, if I were to say anything about the Flock so far, I mean, we got to see a yeet of a pulse bomb from Indra there, just up in the little replay. But is the communication coming out from them as much here? It just doesn't. It's not clicking as it seems for this Flock team. I think Eclissi is just kind of controlling them more.
I would say Eclissi do seem to be more of the kind of coordinated team. A lot of Flock's like moments there came from individual plays rather than coordinated like dives or such. And I think that was their main issue. I'd say they seem to like lack a lot of space a lot of the time, where the DPS were kind of battling uphill, doing fairly well at it, but with a bit more of a like a sit and shoot poke comp that they've gone for here, maybe this will work out better for them.
Yeah, and poke is hopefully gonna favor them here up on this defense. We know what Kai could do as a starter player up on the brig, but can Sky Demon hit some shots against the DPS up on the side of Eclissi, which the pressure has just been phenomenal from them so far.
See that speed ring already used from Seb, so again, Eclissi will know that. They'll know that there's not going to be a fast rotation anytime soon. It's, Latix on the Torbjorn just coming up. A lot of damage being inputted. That alternate fire of the Torb is just going to burst down Orisa.
Latix is doing something.
Yeah, back to the factory with you, and a very quick take here, and another nice shot to Indra. Eclissi have made a statement with that one.
Yeah, and you know, now I'm wondering if Latix will just try and go for a hammer kill sometime this Icon Vault. But yeah, wonderful stuff from the side of Eclissi and Flatix. Flatix really controlled that fight momentum to get themselves a win. You just kept on seeing more forward picks going up in the favor of Eclissi. But you look at this time bank, Gio. This is so huge for this Eclissi side.
It is, but you could say that it was the same way the other way. So if the Flock are able to keep control of this high ground and get picks like that onto Little Bloom, then maybe they can start to get these annoying little picks, extend the time bank, and just give themselves the room to breathe.
Yeah, and Vista just getting a little low there, under half health. If you are the side of Eclissi, you're going to have Flatix's ultimate of Molten Core here very, very shortly. But if you're looking at the Flock side of things, they're going to be coming up on 3 to 4 sides of ultimates, and it's going to be a little scary. But the Molten Core is probably a good ultimate to place around this card to have the Flock not touch.
Definitely. I mean, if they get too far and they place that molten carpet down, you're going to be forced into it, take so much damage, and it's not going to be a good look.
Yeah.
Festido gets taken out again. The cast nade, really devastating for Venture, interrupts their movement ability, and just means they can't be as aggressive with the burrow.
Yeah, and Cosminong able to get a pick there. They do have this ultimate ready to go, and you're looking at the Flock with basically all 5 set and ready. If you're Eclissi, you're gonna have to try and forward some momentum builder up on this Flock team, but you have Nevs at 84%, which if Nevs was able to launch a bomb here, Geo, it could just outposition, but the Terra Surge...
Oh, that was targeted. That was mean. That was bullying.
Yeah.
Cyberbullying. Entirely intended for Vista. Although the turret says, actually, I don't like cyberbullying. I'm a turret. I'm going to go pew pew. Take out one of your DPS who has Bob. Molten Carpet comes out, allowing this aggressive push here. And doesn't need the bomb to have explosive impact. Nevs just takes them out. And now, Eclissi in a very good spot. The Flock very much on the back foot. Oh.
Yeah, this is not looking too good. Oh, no.
There's no way. Yeah.
Oh. That would have been crazy, though, honestly. But the Bob is launched from the Flock here. Is it going to be too much to worry for Eclissi? They're just keep on pushing this. And, yeah, I mean, just phenomenal work.
Yeah, I think actually Sky even got booped by Neof right there as they were bobbing. So, like, the bob didn't quite get where they wanted it to be. Gave Eclissi just a little bit more room, and yeah, they're cleaning up. They're taking Eichenwald to get it to the gates, and they don't need to take it any further. A nice support play there by Neofried with that boop.
All right, chat. So we don't talk about the ball pick up on Eichenwald, but yeah, Flatix, just a wonderful performance here with the Tord pick. We got to see a lot out of this during this map. A lot of forward engage picks too to lead this Eclissi team to get that fight win whenever it was. But yeah, if you're the Flock here, you're not in such of a great position against this Eclissi team, because now Eclissi is up on match points, and if you're the Flock, Geo, they're gonna have to try and reverse sweep this. And with the performance that I've seen so far, the Flock are just, I don't know. Can the Flock do it?
The individual parts of their engine are very strong, but it just seems like there needs to be a little bit more maintenance in attaching them together. Eclissi just feel like a team that's like understands each other and has just a little bit more synergy than the Flock do. I think the V formation that you see the birds flying the sky, they just need to get into that V formation and go forward, you know, like push forward and get that time. And yes, don't pick band heroes. Not a good choice. It's kind of like Adam and Eve, the forbidden fruit, right? Head rammer, I guess, would be God in this instance, and I'm not too biblically educated to continue this bit, but don't do it. It didn't end well. But yeah, Eclissi definitely on a strong streak. I'm very much out of date. Do we do a break for these, or do we continue to roll? As I ask into the air, we will do a break. Okay, brilliant. And get yourself some water, get you some refreshments. This will give the time for the Flock to kind of group up as well and see how they're going to bring up, because it will need to be a reverse sweep if they want to take the win now. But we'll be right back in just a couple minutes.
Let's have a bit of fun till I downfall. My love, if you feel like I do right now, don't say you're on the run to the other side, my love. You say you wanna try, but you never do. Sugar, there's a reason why we lose. You say you wanna cry, but you never do. Sugar, there's a reason why we lose. I don't know what you want. Let's have a bit of fun till I downfall. My love, if you feel like I do right now, don't say you're on the run to the other side, my love. You say you wanna try, but you never do. Sugar, there's a reason why we lose. You say you wanna try, but you never do. Sugar, there's a reason why we lose. You say you wanna cry, but you never do. Sugar, there's a reason why we lose.
Red Dead Redemption just had its new player peak on Steam, and in that game there's quite a few NPCs that kind of like sit back and shoot at birds and challenge you to shoot more birds. Well, I'd say Eclissi have been pretty good at that. The flock has been, shall we say, feathered. They're not looking too great. They need to go back to the nest and collect some more eggs, hatch some more hatchlings, and try and figure something out, because evolution needs to move on, because they are up against a 3-0 sweep here. They need to find something within themselves. They need to be a little bit more targeted with their ban this time, because it matters a whole lot more.
Yeah, Eclissi's basically like a duck hunting, right? Shooting them out of the sky, like how you said. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see, and what it looks to be is, this next map coming up. It's gonna be the pick of Esperança, which we do quite enjoy the city streets of Portugal here up on stream, but as well, it's gonna be a variety of what these teams could play, and especially the one that we are gonna look for is the Flock. They're under a deficit of 2 maps here. They got to come back up in a reverse series, and yeah, I'm a little worried for this team, but can they do it? Hopefully, they don't get shoot out of the sky again. Yeah,
Yes, we need a little less pigeon and we need a little bit more eagle. We need the birds of prey to make themselves known. Speaking of Portuguese, I was watching the SA stream of the SA region in CGL.
nice.
I don't speak Portuguese. I'm a very boring one language speaker, but I just found myself watching it. I just hearing Overwatch cast in a different language. I don't know. It was kind of soothing. I could go to sleep with that kind of thing. ASMR.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. I think I honestly did the same thing. I tuned in. It was a cool little thing to watch. But, as you said, it's always cool hearing other accents, other languages, especially Korea casts. That's
There
always
we
exciting. But
go. Finally.
adventure pick, I like this. I really enjoy this here.
Finally, I mean, bird bones are hollow, but they found their backbone and they've decided that now is the time to ban Venture. And honestly, it's a very good map to ban Venture on. Esperança is a map that even I would be confident playing Venture on, never mind Vista. So getting that out the way, that opens you up, right? But again,
Yeah.
Eclissi, we know the kind of bans they've been making. They can't go back and ban Tracer, so we're still going to see a lot of dominance from the Tracer, from this Flock, but it's what kind of side character that they can try and ban.
It's gonna be interesting. I feel like JQ could be seen here. This is probably something that they could stop with the ban. That's what we saw, but you don't want to choose a banned hero that you were pretty dominant up on. So probably, I wouldn't be surprised if they focused more up on the backline for supports, maybe take a Juno out of play, or a Lucio, or even a Kiriana. But we did see Kai up in the mix, up on the Brig, so maybe they'll target more of that, but it's going to be questionable. I think it's going to be a support ban if I were me, but yeah, hopefully it's a good ban from this Eclissi team. Will it be the deficit ban that they can come back? Oh, wait. Okay. Yeah,
okay.
I think
Makes
I think I'm
sense.
right. Yeah.
Yeah, because we saw what happened there on Eichenwald. It caused a bit of an issue. They got used to it, but again, that kind of extra protection in the backline, right? I mean, you've got an
Yeah.
angry character that people still have nightmares about from when they were first introduced into the game because of what they did to dive. So it's a good choice to make when you are as aggressive as Eclissi are.
Yeah, and a substitution coming in here from one of the teams. They're gonna bring in Terry, and yeah, if I were to say anything about Terry, it's a lot of pressure up on your back here for the Flock, and hopefully those birds can fly, because what we've been seeing here, Geo, they've been shot down from a pretty dominant team here, but it is the city streets of Portugal here up on Esperança, and will the one team do it that has been up in favor, or will the Flock get back up into action and fly high with their wings?
And it's worth noting, Terry is down as a starter. It was actually Cosmin down as a substitute. So, is this another introduction of a starter player that actually, hey, suddenly the bird that was at the front of that V formation Flock has returned, and now they remember how to fly together? That's what I want to see here.
Yeah, and Chapper's in for the Flock here. And it's going to be interesting to see. But you see Nev's playing the ball pick here. But as well, you're able to see this Diva get picked here from the Flock. So a little of aggression pace compositions coming from both of the sides. It's definitely going to be exciting.
feel like Vista and me are soulbound. A Venture player that swaps to Reaper when they can't. I actually feel seen. And it's going to be pretty useful against that D.Va once they run out with the D.Va Matrix, but Chappers has taken Neo-Fried, put them into the Deep Fryer, back to spawn again. Against these divey compositions, Bapti's just going to struggle. And now they've got the Lucio Mercy. They're going for some classic kind of Arab dive from back in the day.
Ooh.
But again, it's just a little disconnected from each other.
Yeah, Chappers is just chapping right now, and yeah, the flock looking pretty good so far. It's 9 minutes left, but this first forward engage is always interesting. Yeah, that's a little Flume's out of this one.
I don't know if this is really going to go your way. I mean, 1 versus 5, sure. Maybe someone's been watching Rocky or the Avengers, or you're excited for Captain America later this weekend, but you ain't that level, right?
Yeah, and here we get to see Vista playing on the Genji here for the sign of Eclissi, and yeah, that's going to be a different pace, tempo. If you're the Eclissi here, I like what they're doing, and Flatix able to get the pickup on the Kai.
Yeah, and that extra speed's going to go. It's going to make it a little bit more difficult to move around. Still lots of moving characters, but they're caught up there by the overclock, and Flatix looking to just flat align the players. Goes for the remake there, but I don't see why unless we're swapping.
Yeah, I don't know. Pull the plug. Nev's just doing a great job. 84%. They do have this mines coming up, but as well, Neo-Fried with the Beat Matrix. This could be just a game changer to sustain an ultimate, especially that orbital ray that's coming up from the flock, but the aggression coming out from Nevs.
Yeah, Nev's hanging up there like Batman and gonna go golfing on them. That's Neo-Fried. It's the one who fights Chappers. It's what you want to see from your main support, being able to build like that, and I mean, no investment, no ultimates, no nothing. Just a nice clean fight win.
Yeah, and I guess something to say is they are approaching this meterage, and there we go. Eclissi is going to be taking this one so far up in the running, but there's still 7 minutes left. That's a lot of time up on Esperanza, but the thing that's going to be interesting here now is how these teams play with their ultimates, and mines are going to be used here.
Yeah, Orbital Ray comes out, and very suddenly people are running from it. Like an Overwatch player would run from grass, and now they can come back into this one, which is what they've done. The Orbital Ray's gone, and yeah, they're in a much better position.
Yeah, maybe I just gotta touch grass after the stream, or maybe it's the players. I don't know, but yeah, Neo-Fried still with this ultimate here, Geo. It's gonna be interesting. I feel like this is great to sustain a Sojourn ultimate that's coming up, but as well this Pulse Bomb, very, very close. Lucky recall.
Oh, support ult's still ready from Eclissi, of course, so they have a very good position for that forward spawn.
Ooh.
No, that was scary. That could have been a potential Ajax. It doesn't matter if you got Soundbuyer. I've got a blade, and start slicing through them. Gets enough damage done for the follow-up, and that beat basically got immediately nullified.
Yeah, Manta's out here like Gordon Ramsay up in the kitchen, just trying to cook up a 5-star dish, fruit slicing. But yeah, Eclissi still running good up in this meterage. You have Kitsune Rush, and you have this EMP, which I wouldn't be surprised if Flatix was able to pop, and there it is.
Misses the virus, crucially, means they don't get elimination themselves, but Nev's following up there. The forbidden fruit of Eichenwald has come to bear dividends on Esperanza.
Yeah, and if you're the flock here, you gotta fly with those wings, right? But yeah, I don't know. The flock could come back up into this one. You do have this D.Va ultimate, and if I were to say anything about the flock, they gotta use something, right?
Gotta use something, do something. I need to see some movement. Tyler Blevins would not be happy. The mines are just going to be able to come out here, divide them up, conquer them, because they do need to touch. They need to go into this Kitsune Rush. Flatix has been taken out by the beam, but Nevs has shown that, you know, they're not just a Junker Queen. They're not just a hazard player. They've got the range,
Ooh.
and the
Oh.
Flocks are feeling it, but the Flocks are the ones at the range. Their spawn's so close that they can afford to take a little bit more risk. Afford it. They need to take more risk.
Yeah, including Tyler Blevins there, who's the one to have a low taper fade up in this. But yeah, the Sky Demon, if we get a beam here up on the Neofried, so Neofried is out of this one. And yeah, it's good runnings so far for this Flock team to have a chance for themselves. This is really good for them to now re-engage. They got 4 minutes against a very, very dominant team here on what it seems to be up on Esperanza, but a swap coming in from Nevs.
Yeah, Nevs want to swing some hammer, and with 4 minutes on the time bank, you could come back, but the amount of fights you now need to win in a row if you're the Flock, that's going to be a tough one when you're getting charged into the backline. You can't let them do that. They just took out Kai, and you all watched. Oh god, and then Nevs is like trying to swat at them like the birds that they actually are, trying to roost up here, but it ain't gonna work. And again, Eclissi take control.
Yeah, I think they're just frying them now. They're turning them up into omelets. They're using the eggs. But yeah, I think if you're the Flock here, you gotta come back. You got the Diva ultimate still ready to go, but you also have this Nano to use possibly up on one of these DPS. But if you're Chappers, you do get the Sombra pick.
Yeah, it does get traded out. It's kind of back and forth, but again, with that forward spawn there, Nevs on cruise control here, having fun, listening to some music on the highway, just trying to see if they can get another flat.
EMP?
EMP there, and that's going to be the main thing. Nevs was just kind of like, I guess, playing Minecraft in the corner. Meanwhile, the rest of the team actually did the work there. EMP's enough to just win them that fight, and with 2 minutes in a time bank, I mean, this is looking rough for the Flock.
Yeah, he was making a 5x5 there if he was up on the side of Eclissi. But yeah, you look at what Eclissi has done here, Gio, and Nev's just going in like a F1. This is, yeah.
Okay, well, Nev's got what they deserved in that one, right? You can't be doing that and think you're going to get away with it again, you know? Fool me once. You know, fair enough. Fool me
He's
twice.
like proving something like Max Verstappen there, not gonna lie. Flying in at that tempo. But yeah, the Flock, they have these ultimates still, but it's gonna be such a hard one for them to fight up this upper hill battle. Oh, wait! That was interesting.
Yeah, big sleep there. Gets Suzu swinging right into the backline again and smashes through the amplification window. Now with 90 seconds left, and again, they just walked in, and I think Sky Demon was seeing some demons, by the way. They were shooting some air balls there, even when there was a sleeping Nevs, but again, up against the gate.
Nevs is just going in, and the Diva Bomb is
Oh, the
possible
hack!
too!
Beautiful!
Oh, wait. This could be the Flock coming back. And, you know, maybe with the minute here, Gio, it's gonna be a hard one. They might struggle just a bit. But you see this Malga coming in for the Flock, and this could just pace more over the Eclissi. It's gonna be a interesting choice in mind, but you have Demon, which still has this duplication.
Yeah, the duplication, I mean, it depends what you really want to go for. If you're going to go for a Somber there, try and get another EMP.
Oh, the hack up on the map.
Or what, I mean, get the beam onto Fist is huge there, kind of opens things up. The EMP from the other side trying to equalize. Kai again going down. I'm not even talking about the fact that there's a Mauga in play there by Swines. They definitely got their talons dirty with that pick, but I don't know if they've really gotten a good grip on the game with it. As you can see, Nevs just holding shield, being the rectangle for their team, and it's overtime, so everything here matters. The duplicate comes up, goes for a little bit of the Genji duel, the ninja on ninja. They're about to get put in their place. Blade comes out, taken out of form, taken out of the map. Vista kind of cements himself as more than just a venture player. A little bit of sniping from Mauga. Still overtime here on the point, so the Mercy's probably not going to survive, especially not against the Nano Mauga. That tends to be pretty good. That's like a 1000 degrees cheese grater against some Edam. Not going to really work out for you, but they have actually gone the forward spawn here.
Yeah, now this is a different look here for the Flock. They kind of found their algorithm for this one, and hopefully they did. They need the map point here against the Eclissi, but you're looking at the Eclissi, which Nevs all needs to do is position off of a corner and catch all of them with that shatter. But you're looking at the Flock, which are building up a cage, EMP, and this Kitsune. Oh!
Okay, good timing of the charge there by Swines, but it doesn't matter because Kitsune gone, EMP gone. You're going to lose this map with both those ultimates that you could have used, and Nevs has actually done wonders here with that charge. Cage comes up, but it's nothing but a reminder that victory is beyond reach for the Flock.
Yeah, and the wings got clipped. I think that's what we could say here from the Flock side. But yeah, Gio, this has just been a great one so far. A dominant victory up on the side of Eclissi. They definitely earned it pretty well. The way we got to see them use their ult economy and the communication throughout the process of positioning was just pretty phenomenal.
Yeah, definitely the team that had the coordination there. They came into this a bit warmer than the Flock, and it goes to show, yeah, having more players means you're a little bit more flexible, especially with hero bans, but having a solid core of 5 means that you're going to just be a little bit more together, right? You're going to just have a bit more synergy with those individual players, just a little bit more, and it definitely, you could see that there with Eclissi.
Yeah, and I think truly Eclissi had a great fight against this Flock team and a well-deserved victory. Once again, I feel like the Flock can get another win towards their next matchup, but they need a lot of improvement heading after this one. It was just all around, I would probably say, for this Flock team. They tried doing what they could do with their momentum starters, and some of it didn't favor against this Eclissi side.
Yeah, definitely didn't favor. I mean, Nev's even got some screen time there on Reinhardt, and it definitely still worked out for them. And a very clean sweep. Only one map point taken, and that was Eichenwald. And I'd say Eichenwald first and a bit into second was probably the best we saw of the Flock. But, you know, in terms of overall performance, Eclissi definitely eclipsed the Flock. Now, thinking about the overall standings, Eclissi had an 0-3 loss. Looking at the system, it does look like it was a buy-in, but not a buy-in, like a buy. So,
yeah,
not a buy. What am I thinking? An FF. I can't think of the correct forfeit. That's the word. Thank you. It was a forfeit. Flock now have experienced 3-0ing and an 0-3, so they've gone both feelings. Now they just need to kind of take a step back and kind of like figure themselves out. Perfect time to do so, because as we start to settle on this match, we've got a week long of games for CGL Season 15. The Season 15 of Overwatch is right around the corner. And when we talk about these teams needing to, like, you know, go back to the drawing board, the whole community is going to be at that drawing board, shoulder to shoulder, to figure out what we're doing. Because in the actual core game, there won't be hero bans, but obviously in CGL, there probably will still be hero bans, because that's unlikely to change. So you're going to have to figure out, okay, I like playing Venture. What are the perks now? What does that mean? What are the Venture perks, you know? What are the Reinhardt perks? Is that now more viable than Junker Queen? Probably not, because I heard Junker Queen gets 100% lifesteal on their ultimate as one of their perks, and that sounds pretty strong. So,
yeah,
this
Lucio
is,
too.
Yeah, Lucio as well. There's going to be a lot that changes, Nyah, and these teams need to figure that out fast.
Yeah, and hopefully they can. And it seems to be Gio, as we were just about to say, an interview is going to be coming up here, up on the side of Eclissi, and that's going to be very, very exciting to see. But we will see you guys very, very shortly.
Hello.
Hello and welcome back, folks. We've just seen a clean 3-0 sweep there from the team of LN Eclissi against the team of Flock. Now we'll get to drill into the brain of one of their players. Fista, welcome to the stream.
Hello. Thanks for having me.
First question. We saw you very much lean towards the venture. How would you describe your hero pool, especially now that people have the ability to ban those heroes?
Well, we as our team, we have multiple heroes that if one of them gets banned, then we can play the other. Like we have multiple comps. Like if Venture gets banned, then we can play Hazard with Genji, and then if Hazard gets banned, then we can play Venture with something else. So
backups.
we have, we have that, and I guess as a backup. So it's not like we one trick that comp, but yeah. Obviously, with the bans, we had to try a lot of different stuff.
Yeah.
But I guess playing Venture is pretty comfortable with the way we play.
Interesting. Yeah, I feel like you Fista, you were pretty dominant there for the side for your team, especially whether if it going up into team fight situations, there was always a scenario where you were getting a pick, and it was pretty great from you guys. But I will say this: were you guys worried from entering towards this match? I know the Flock did play one before you, but I just want to have you basically say something about that if you can.
Well, obviously, playing the first match in CGL always gonna be interesting because we were kind of late to sign up, so this is our first match.
I see.
And it was a nice start with the series going on, and us relatively are kind of a new team. We had a different name before this one, and we were scrimming for we started around I'd say a month ago. We started right just as soon as Overwatch CS qualifier started, and we rebranded into Luna Nera about a few days ago. So yeah, we're just we're it was nice starting up the series with a game like this. But as in being worried, honestly, we were, I'd say obviously a little bit still nervous, a first time. But as the game's gone on, it got a little bit more comfortable.
Nice.
Yeah, you could definitely tell that as the maps went on. Now, I'd be remiss if I didn't include a question about this. It's not very specific to this match yourself, but right before this match, there was a little stream that the Overwatch devs did about what might be coming, well, what is coming to the game. I just wanted to get kind of an opinion. What's your opinion on the perk system that's coming, and I know and hero bands being in the actual game? Do you have an opinion on that, a hot take or anything?
Well, for every person, it varies because for the normal person, they might be oh, this is not good, or they might prefer this, or whatever it is for the normal person. But if you think about it in a different POV, it's okay, we're adding something new that's going to change the gameplay, but along that, they're adding a lot more things that kind of revive the game in a way and make more people watch it. And for any player who wants to go pro, or for any player who's trying to have a career, or even someone who just plays the game for fun, it's always better for your game to just have more attention on it, or just more people just playing it. It's always more fun to have more people paying attention to the game that you love.
100%.
So
it kind of adds more depth and complexity to the game, especially if they balance the perks well, and each perk is quite a valid choice. So I definitely agree that it's good to shake things up and bring people in.
Yeah, but as the thing itself, I think Overwatch 2 generally has been making the game easier relatively than like Overwatch 1. So them adding a thing that makes the game a little bit more complex, I feel like it's a nice change because yeah, like for the past like 2 years, I feel like the changes that they've done, for example, the self heal, they're making a one tank, all these stuff like they make the game kind of a little bit more simple. So they adding something that makes the game more complex is like a nice change.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, just wonderful victory today from you, Vista. Obviously, I think I have one more question from my side, but looking forward, right? What do you think your team itself is going to prep for towards your next matchup? Which that's always exciting for any team up in CGL, but yeah, what are you guys going to plan for that next one?
Well, obviously there's going to be a new patch notes coming up in like
Very
6
true.
5 days. Yeah.
New season.
So yeah, for sure. And we're just gonna try to see like the way we play, I guess, and just try to like fit in with the new meta or whatever it's gonna be. But we can't really tell for sure now. We're just gonna like try different stuff that isn't even meta, just so that we can be ready for whatever change comes. But
That's actually really cool.
looking forward for this season.
I am actually very excited for this new season. I might go on a bit of a ramble here before I ask the final question, but like I'm of the opinion that like we should get more regular like shakeups like this. I think the devs have been a little bit too like relaxed. I love it now that they've just been brave enough to be like, you know what, perks are in the game. And they're in the game.
Yeah,
like it.
Yeah, like let's do that. Like that's awesome, and it means that like it feels fresh and sure.
It's bold. It's nice.
Yeah, and yeah, if it's awful, we can just revert and go back. But I would much rather them try things like this and excite me than like us just gonna be like, oh, here's more cheese sandwich. It's like, can we have a little bit of ham? Can we have some mustard? Let's change it up a little bit. Anyway, final question, Fista. Do you have any shout outs or anyone you'd like to mention on stream?
What do you mean?
Anyone you'd like to... You know what? I never really know how to ask questions. Do you have anyone you'd like to shout out? Any family members? Any friends? Pets?
I would like to shout you out, guys. I feel like you guys don't get enough credit. I really appreciate what you guys do.
Aw.
It means a lot when I watch like I finish like a game, and I just see like afterwards I rewatch like the VOD. It's very nice to see. I appreciate you guys.
Wow.
Thank you, and I'll send that money to your PayPal after. All right, thank you, Fista, for joining us, and we'll let you go back to your team. All right, cheers.
I appreciate you.
Oh, it's always nice to have a wee chat with the players after as well, kind of get their mindset. And I liked Vista's approach to talking about the new changes as well, because like obviously all the teams are in CGL. It's not just like they're like they're playing the game and things are going to change and they're going to be excited about changing. Like they're in a tournament, a long running tournament, and we're not even at the mid season yet. So these teams are going to be like, yeah, but like, how does this affect our scrims?
Yeah.
And it's so interesting to think like, oh, now if we swap later into the match because the perks reset, it's going to be a little bit riskier. So we really need to be sure of what we're doing at the start. Teams that are already prepared are definitely going to benefit more. This is really going to shake things up, and I actually think that the more prepared teams are going to benefit way more than the teams who maybe don't scrim that much, maybe just kind of do their CGL match and then not really scrim. The teams that actually like put the thought in, I think they're really going to benefit.
Yeah, and it's going to be a lot of stronger compositions with those fixes and all those new things coming forth. But something to talk about here, Gio, is our next upcoming match, which will be our North American scene against pretty two good teams that want to prove something for both of their organizations. And yeah, I mean, we got the Death Blossom and the Tormenting Tentacles, which great team names there and great team logos.
Yeah, branding, that's important, right? We don't talk about branding enough. Branding definitely gives the team's aura. So you've got
Very
the
true.
you've got the auras there, and you can try, I don't know, check your chakras and see who's going to win. I don't really know where I'm going with this, but if you're a degenerate in the EU, you can stay up and watch it. If you're normal in NA, you can obviously watch it, and you're much less degenerate. They'll be covered again on stream, and it'll be Speedy and Shadowfang who'll be casting that one. And if I'm up and about, which I'll be honest, I'll probably be playing Overwatch at the general hours, so I'm probably gonna.
Yeah, same here.
Hey, there's
I gotta
competitive drives to be
grind.
playing right now, and I need those comp points.
True.
I need to get the new Cosmic gun when it comes out, or whatever it's called, Cosmic.
Oh
Whatever.
yeah, the like Galaxy like variant. That
Yeah,
was
the
so
Galaxy
cool.
variant. Yeah, I like how we've went from like, oh, gold to, oh, we've changed the hue to green to, oh, here's actually like cosmic.
To like interstellar like universe vibe.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, it's so cool. It
so
is
you-
so cool.
So the people that know me, shocker, I'm optimistic and happy about the future of Overwatch. Who would have thought that that's my opinion? But alas, that is us for the EU tier. So Valentine's Day is coming up. So don't remember.
Yeah.
Don't remember. I forgot my own outro. Valentine's Day is
Get
coming
your
up.
duo.
So definitely don't forget to get your duo. Yes, I forgot that. That's a good plug. In the CGL and announcements,
Do they call it the e-dates? The e-daters?
So yeah,
If
the
you, like-
Valentine's duo duels, that's on the 15th. So not on Valentine's Day. So if you happen to be busy on the 14th, okay, fair enough, lucky you, then you can still participate on the 15th. How it works is one of you will be Mercy, one of you is a DPS, and you swap every round. So get your duos in,
Oh boy.
get your e-dates, and have some fun there. I'll probably try and sign up there with a duo, maybe drag Crumble or something into it. But alas, that is us, so we'll see you tomorrow as well for more EU. But for tonight, don't forget to laugh loud and love yourself, folks. Good night.
See you guys.